Hello Africa, welcome to the conversation on TOS Television Network. The month of May has finally come to an end. I hope the month was, a very productive one for you. It's a good day here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. And of course, my name is Adesuwa Osui.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us today.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Adesuwa.
Hello, Sagir, how are you doing?
Doing very well.
It's good to see you today.
Yeah. So how was your weekend?
Very well, thank you. Very eventful. I had quite, good rest.
Okay, so did you ride on the water polo?
No. Not this weekend, I did not.
I just had to ask. Well, for me, the weekend was a little bit up and down because the weekend was riddled with a lot of bad news.
Exactly.
We saw
Social
a lot
media.
of things go wrong during the weekend.
I think we need to detox from what we saw during the weekend.
Exactly. Basically, I feel like I need a break from social media. I need a break from everything, basically. I know I'm a media person, but then I just need to
No. Sometimes yes, your mental state has
because
to be
it was really something, and it affected me a whole lot, and I began to question a lot of the things that has been going on. It's been really terrible.
I mean, footages of the high level of insecurity that we're having in the country right now, killings and all of that stuff. It was terrible. It was quite a terrible weekend for most Nigerians, just having to see all of that. Okay, with that, we kickstart the show with the quote of the day, after which we'll bring you, stories and developments from across Africa.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
All right, kickstarting the development across Africa with news from here in Nigeria. Quite a sad news, actually, where hundreds of children have reportedly been abducted by an Islamic school, in Tegina, Rafi local government area of Niger State by suspected armed bandits. It was gathered that the gunmen began shooting sporadically in the air after gaining access to the town, scaring residents before proceeding into the school premises. I mean, it was this weekend that we saw footages of the abducted Greenfield students being released and their parents, happy that their words are back home. And then we're seeing another 100 or over 100 students being abducted again.
Well, there are no official figures yet.
Yes.
But some are saying it's 100, some quarters are saying it's over 200,
yes.
And as at yesterday, I heard about 11 of them were released and a couple of those who weren't able to walk because there were children within various age ranges.
Yeah.
So those who were too small and too little to walk in the bushes were released. However, you begin to question the progress we're making, security or insecurity-wise, because it's looking like we take a step forward
and
we take
several
a couple of steps backward. Yes, because how will about 14 students be released from captivity, and then here we have another 200 students being abducted. Is this a business? What is going on? And mind you, earlier in the month of, I think March, the Kagara incident happened in the same Rafi local government where Tegina is located. And then so you begin to ask questions. Has this become
a norm?
Or has this become an avenue for making profit? Or has this become an avenue for the government to be held, to be blackmailed into, giving in and succumbing to threats by terrorists and bandits? And then you begin to question whether it has become necessary for the issue of state policing to be looked at. Because I think this is the only way that the people will be able to get direct access to those who would protect them. Because definitely it has begun to look like the federal structure of the Nigerian policing system is not working at all.
At this point.
Yes, so it's really something that the government has to go back to the table, sit down, and then say, look, we need to have a change in our security architecture, else these things will continue going on. Because at this stage, even the governors are powerless. Exactly. They can't do anything if the federal government does not deploy troops or police or be it soldiers, you know, to swing into action and get these things done. So these are the issues that we just need to keep considering and keep looking at until the right thing is done.
I agree.
Okay, so moving on, we still on issues around Nigeria. APC chieftain Ahmed Gulak killed in Imo State. Ahmed Gulak, former aide to former President Goodluck Jonathan and chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC, has reportedly been killed by gunmen in Imo State. It was gathered that the former aide was killed while returning to Abuja from Owerri, the Imo State capital.
That's quite sad. That was one of the...
and all of this happened during the weekend.
The
So you see, it was a really, really, really sad weekend. And
terrible.
a bad weekend.
So I said we need to detox from all the activities that happened during the weekend.
And like I said, it still boils down to the issues I raised earlier. If we don't begin to consider a policing system that will bring policing closer to those at the community level, because these are the people who are being directly affected. I give you an example. People are abducted from communities now, not minding their financial status.
Exactly.
You know, these gunmen or these bandits can just go into a community and just abduct random people on the streets. And then when you begin to hear their demands as ransom, it's quite outrageous. How do you go from 180 million naira to 5 tubers of yam or probably a motorcycle? Yes, I've heard of a situation where somebody was abducted and his abductors were demanding that his parents and his family members bring a brand new motorcycle and a school bag as part of ransom. So you begin to wonder, what are you using a motorcycle for? Or what are you using a school bag for? You know, and there are other times when you hear that these abductors demand for food items, you know, as ransom. So this gives you a clearer picture to understand that these people are also fed up. These people are hungry. You know, these people are tired of a system where they cannot continue to be gainfully employed. This is not a justification.
I don't want
this
I
is
don't
not
want
a justification.
Like we're trying
this is
to
not a
justify,
justification
yes, exactly.
of what they do. However, it just gives you a picture that a lot of people are being directly affected by what is going on in the society and in Nigeria today.
On a similar note, Gombe State is praying to, tackle insecurity in the state. The Advocacy Center for Development in Gombe has held its 4th National Day of Mourning, with special prayers to God to intervene amidst multitudinous security challenges in every nook and cranny of Nigeria. During the prayer, representatives of Muslim and Christian pathetically decried the current security situation in which security operatives are also being targeted. All right, with that, we wrap up this segment of the conversation. And we'll be bringing you COVID-19 updates from across Africa right now. And afterwards, we're going to bring you, newspaper headlines for this morning.
TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget and the budget they look, some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igboneja, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back. It is still The Conversation, and do remember you could be a part of the conversation by checking us out on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and also checking our YouTube page using the details currently showing on your screen. Yes, it is the newspaper segment of The Conversation, and I start this morning with the Business Day newspaper and with the very obvious banner headline there: low-wage manufacturing jobs can dent Nigeria's unemployment. And beside that, we have, you have your customer's attention. Here is how to use it. This, among other stories, could be found on the Business Day newspaper of today.
Okay, moving away from the Business Day newspaper to the Blueprint newspaper. Quite a number of colorful headlines there on the Blueprint newspaper. So I'm going to start with the banner headline there. Golak's murder repulsive, gruesome. That's coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. And you have quite a number of riders under that headline. Vows to deploy resources against criminal elements. He was trailed, killed by professionals. That's coming from Fani Kayode. Late politician moved out of hotel unprotected. That's coming from the police. Imo government must give account. Northern youth threatened. I am shocked in pain. That's coming from former President Goodluck Jonathan, and that is on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And then just underneath the picture of the day, bandits kill 2, abduct 200 school children in Niger. 2 kidnapped on Kaduna Abuja highway. Nasarawa lawmaker abducted. Those stories are on page 5 and 9 of the Blueprint newspaper. And there are other headlines on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Just get yourself a copy so you can just read up on all of them.
And on the Daily Times newspaper this morning, we'll start with the banner headline: outrage over murder of Jonathan's ex-aide Golak. And just underneath that, we see the picture of the day of the Acting Inspector General of Police, that's IGP Usman Bala, the Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, as well as the late Ahmed Golak. And underneath that, we see other headlines: bid winners, DPR says to release marginal field bid winners, award letters. And just beside that, we see insecurity. Gunmen kidnapped 200 students in Niger State. And just beside that as well, we see airport decay. ATCs expose rot in Nigeria's airports, control towers, say air traffic chiefs. This, among other stories, could be found on the Daily Times newspaper of this morning.
In the last front page we're going to be looking at is the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Starting from the very top, sit-at-home order, fear, anxiety in Southeast, 12 killed in fresh Benue attack. And the banner headline on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning says, Golak's assassination sparks outrage. 4 riders on that headline. The first one says, police kill 6 IPOB members over attack. Ex-presidential aide buried in Abuja. Southeast governors demand probe Buhari, Jonathan, ACF mourn. And then just underneath the picture of the day, many students abducted as bandits attack Islamiyah school in Niger. Pro-Buhari rep suspended from APC. 2023, Middle Belt Southern leaders ask APC PDP to zone presidential tickets to South. And the last headline on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 41% of family businesses will decline this year. That's coming from the PwC.
And that will be all for the newspaper segment this morning. Moving on, Adesua will be taking you on what's trending on social media right after this break.
Remember, this man I have creative design. We really like it. You deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
Welcome back to the conversation. And of course, it's about that time where I take you through what is trending on social media, what has been trending on social media in the last 24 hours. But before then, you know that you should follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube. You can also watch the conversation and other programs on www.tostvnetwork.com. All right, back to what's trending or what has been trending on social media in the last 24 hours. So the hashtag Owerri has been trending, and of course that's following the development where, you know, Golak, that's Ahmed Golak, that's APC chieftain, was assassinated in Imo State, that's Owerri, yesterday. So the news was everywhere on social media, and then, you know, it has sparked conversation. People have been talking about it. I mean, it was everywhere on the front pages of the newspaper this morning. So I'm going to read out a few tweets to that regard for you. Quite a sad one, actually. The first one is from Anthony_Fedora. They've started picking up IMSU students and tagging them IPOB members. Orafite has been on fire since morning. Everyone is mostly indoors. My peaceful Owerri is gone. The next is from @Ostina James. While we are here tweeting, military personnel are clamping down on innocent students at their hostels in Owerri, taking them to an unknown location. Please, I have a baby cousin whose school's there. If you're not too busy, kindly retweet to create more awareness. IPOB. Prince N. Enwerem is saying, what is going on in Owerri? What type of country is this? Everywhere is on fire. The once peaceful East is no longer at peace. Where do we go to from here? And the last is from @Angel Gabriel for all. If you are in Owerri, from security within yourselves and protect your streets. Block the streets and don't let anyone in. They can't kill everyone. Protect yourself and be safe. Running away or hiding will worsen the situation. #ESN. This one is quite sad. Like I said earlier, like we literally need to detox from everything that's happened. And like the last person said, even though the last person is saying, look, you have to protect yourself and protect everyone around. But how much can you do for yourself in this country, in a state where, like I think Prince N. William said, everywhere is on fire. Everywhere you turn to, you had gunmen parading in the street, or somebody being shot, or police station being set on fire. Everywhere is on fire. So what can you do? How much can one do to actually protect themselves at this point?
The deed has been done, and now the carnage has begun.
Yes.
So as it is, the people will begin to understand the disadvantages and the reason why it is bad on their part to support these unknown gunmen. Because in a situation where you support them and you support their actions, granted, when they come out to perpetrate all of their illicit acts, you hail them and all of that. But then remember, when the government starts its investigation, nobody will be left out. You were complicit by supporting their actions. Therefore, you shouldn't be surprised. However, it's just unfortunate what is going on.
Everything that is happening.
Yes, and remember, this was how Boko Haram started.
Exactly. But my worry and my fear is innocent persons being roped into all of this. That's my worry and my fear. So I don't hope that proper investigation is done and we don't have innocent people who have to, were interweaving in all of this. I mean, you can't not do anything and just, be in police custody.
I just hope the whole issue is sorted out.
Yes, I hope all of that is sorted out. And I hope, we can just see a Nigeria that is very peaceful at this point, because everyone is tired. I know that I'm tired of all the insecurity situation that's happening in the country right now.
I'm tired as well.
Oh, well, see? Okay, that's it for what's trending on social media this morning. We'll go on a break now, and when we come back, of course, we'll be bringing you the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. It a form say you sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself,
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone.
Thank you for joining us. It's still the conversation on your Digital First Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And do remember, you could follow us on our various social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You could also watch some of our content on YouTube, as well as watch us live on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Okay, it is the big story now, and we focus on the World No Tobacco Day. Commit to Quit, which is actually the theme of the 2021 World No Tobacco Day. So we focus on this, and as the world marks the 2021 World No Tobacco Day, our focus is on some of the reasons why it is necessary to avoid the use and the consumption of tobacco. And joining us this morning to discuss more on this is Dr. Joseph Nzabigia, and he is the Senior Resident Doctor at National Hospital Abuja. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Okay, so could you tell us, are there any benefits of using tobacco? And if there are, can you please itemize them, whether it's therapeutic or otherwise?
Okay, good morning. I'm an anesthesiologist and I'm intensive care physician in training by profession. Okay, and one of the benefits of smoking tobacco, we call it post-operative nausea and vomiting. People who have had, who just had a surgery, they could, there are different surgeries where if you have it, you just begin to vomit immediately after the surgery. So people who smoke cigarette don't have that risk of having that post-operative nausea and vomiting. That's the only benefit that has been proven. However, there are other uses that are still under studies. It reduces the risk of ulcerative colitis, that's inflammatory disease of the intestines, called the large bowels. They also said there's a study that has shown that it reduces the risk of Parkinson's disease, but it has not been proven. And then it also reduces the risk of, there's a condition they call preeclampsia, that's hypertensive disease that occurs in pregnancy, usually after 20 weeks of being pregnant, which has not been proven. And then some other diseases like that are still controversial.
It sounds like, smoking tobacco has some kind of, health benefits. But I know that we've always heard that smokers or tobacco smokers are liable to die young, and, every other dangers that have been, acquainted with, tobacco. Can you just list them out for me? What are some of the dangers, involved, in smoking tobacco?
Oh, the dangers are so much. Number one, it tends to increase your heart rate, and then your blood pressure could increase. It tends to make you hypertensive. That's number one. Number two is one of the risk factors of people having a stroke. When you hear people just sleep and then they don't wake up, it's not village people. There's something that happened. Most of the time, it's either a stroke or a cardiovascular event. And then three, it also increases your risk of having a lung cancer, and then which could be, the mortality is almost 100%. Once you have a lung cancer, there's nothing that can be done. They can just manage your life and then try to improve your well-being before you go. And then two, there's what we call deep vein thrombosis. When you stay so long in a place for some time, the blood flow to your lower extremities will reduce, and then the blood will start clotting. And when it clots, the blood still will have to still circulate back to your heart. So when it circulates back to your heart, it can go and lodge in the vessel that transfers blood to your lungs, and you become breathless, and then you can just go.
Okay.
It can also increase your risk of coronary heart disease. It can reduce the size of the diameter of the vessel that supplies blood to your heart.
Okay.
So blood to your heart will just reduce. So the consequences of smoking cigarette way outweighs the benefit. Yeah.
All right, doctor. So I would want to ask, could you please speak on the issue of addiction withdrawal and all the other issues that come around this, like because there's been arguments about possibilities of being addicted to tobacco. Some have said it's nicotine, some have said it's stars, that it's really not tobacco itself. So can you please speak about addiction now to tobacco, withdrawal, and how to overcome addiction?
Okay, now issue of addiction. Addiction is not just to tobacco. A lot of people could be addicted to a lot of substances, even alcohol. Not just tobacco. But number one, when you are addicted and when you want to quit, number one, you could just insomnia. That's you will not be able to sleep. Could happen. You could start having diarrhea where you will just be passing frequent stool and you could start vomiting and all that. Those things could happen. But usually within the first 1 to 2 weeks, if you can withstand those things, for the first 1 to 2 weeks, you can withstand addiction. The problem is usually the first 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. All those other symptoms, it can be as bad as some people would even start convulsing. They could start having seizures and start convulsing. That's as bad as it can get. But the problem is those first 1 to 2 weeks. Once you can withstand those first 1 to 2 weeks, you are good. Okay. If you are really bent on withstanding addiction. Okay.
Well, this year's theme, for the World Tobacco Day is commit to quit, right? So can you just talk about that for a bit? Why commit to quit? Why should anyone want to quit? Because you spoke about benefit earlier, and then you spoke about the dangers of withdrawing and all of that stuff. So having to hear all of that, somebody might want to be like, why do I have to quit? So just speak to that for a bit.
Okay, like I was talking, I spoke about the uses. I only spoke about one benefit that has been scientifically proven and medically proven to be a use of smoking cigarettes, like I said, post-operative nausea and vomiting. The other stuff I mentioned are still under clinical trial. They've not still been proven beyond reasonable doubt. Okay. So, I mentioned the disadvantages. They outweigh the benefits by far. I don't want to have a stroke. I don't want to have a lung cancer. I don't want to have a deep venous thrombosis that can dislodge and come and lodge in my pulmonary artery. I don't want to have a coronary heart disease. I want the circulation in my body to improve and all that. So the benefits by far, way outweighs the dangers of using. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. And thank you so much for joining us on the conversation this morning. The conversation comes back to you tomorrow, but before then, follow TOS TV Network across all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, subscribe to YouTube so you're not left out of amazing content. You can also watch the conversation and other programs we have for you on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adesu Alsi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us.